Hey man, you watching Cold Red with the one and only big homie. My big homie, K. It's up there and it's stuck here. Boom!
Hey, what up? We in Cold Red, and where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm your host, the Playmaker. And we got a very, very special guest in the building. Every now and then, we like to do our segment that's called Our Mental Health is Our Wealth. And today's guest is Prophet Juan. Prophet Juan, how you doing?
Man, I'm blessed. What about you, boss?
Man, I'm doing great.
Yes,
Great, man. I got a very in-depth questions to ask you. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's get right to it. So, we're gonna go back to the early days before you became Prophet Juan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the streets just know you as Juan.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about your early upbringing. Where you from?
Yeah, so I'm originally from 15% of Ghost Town, but like I said, as I got older, going from foster care, going to that neighborhood when I was at the age of 4 to 5, like that's all I knew to about the age of 17, and then when I got 17, between 17 and 20, I started claiming the wild trades, and then from the wild trades, I ended up moving to West Lawn, then started claiming them bricks, but I really wasn't from there, but all my guys thought I was. So, it's all love. You know how that go.
Oh, so you good in every hood,
Man,
almost.
yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. So, Juan, and I'm gonna address you as Juan because we're talking about the earlier
Yes,
days.
sir. Let's get it.
So what was it like for Juan growing up?
Man, growing up for me, man, it was like people looking at the outer picture, but not seeing the background picture, like behind closed doors. You would think I had a good life. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people know me to be a person that my foster mom was a pastor. So, pastor kids, they automatically assume like we got the best life, we live in a good life, we being raised right, taught morals and values, but at the same time, they don't see that other piece when we outside the church. So I say, like, for the most part, church, yeah, by me being a foster kid, my mom being a pastor, it taught me a lot about God. But like I said, by us having like real strict rules, I picked up a lot of the negative stuff, like not being able to come off the porch. Had to be on the porch on 15%, so I saw a lot.
So by having them real strict rules made you want to break them?
I'm not gonna say it wanted me to break them, but it made me aware. That makes sense what I'm saying.
And when you say it makes you aware, because when I hear the story, you said the real strict rules kind of made you curious, let's say.
Yeah, my fault, not aware, curious. That's the word. So it's like I'm looking like, okay, I know why we can't come off the porch. I know the dynamics of the neighborhood, but at the same time, I was curious like why we couldn't come off the porch.
Okay. Yeah, that was a highly active area coming up in them days too.
Mm-hmm.
So you being a PK as they call it,
Mm-hmm.
with an overprotective parent, growing up in Ghost Town, high crime area.
Mm-hmm.
How does a kid like that sitting on the porch watching all the activities just kind of balance it out?
Man, and that's the hard part about it, because at the end of the day, like, shout out to some of my OGs, Big Meech, Jermaine, a lot of them, like, if you from the Ghost, Big Meech and them, so it's like they bought structure to the neighborhood, but like even though that I was curious to what they were doing, like they never came out here. It was like, oh, folks, you need to be out here doing this and that. It was like niggas my age, like that was really off the porch. You know what I mean? So prime example, I grew up playing basketball. So they had summer stars at North. So that was like kind of like my only time I could really get off the porch. But my getting off the porch, I'm smoking weed, I'm drinking, I'm gambling. So it's like that's when I say that's what made me curious, because like even though I knew that, what I was seeing I wasn't gonna be able to do, like, cause I know my family was strict, but I also knew like when I got outside of them, it was like whatever. And I think that's a
So-
big problem for a lot of kids now too.
So that short walk from your house to North Division felt like a journey because you did everything in that short time
Yeah.
on your way there and back.
Yeah, but it's like even in this short time, it was like I had a window from I know 3 o'clock to 9. I could do whatever I wanted, and that was the gap, the window of freedom they gave. As long as we was at North, you know, I'm telling them we swimming, we really over here running through the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, experiencing what it's like to really be a part of Ghost Town.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had a pretty structured lifestyle coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So when did the drugs and the gang activity come about?
So when I was 10, I don't know. Like I always knew, you know what I'm saying, being a Hispanic kid, you know, I always knew like about Latin Kings and stuff like that. And I always knew that's something I wanted to be. But, you know, growing up on 15th and Center, like it was GD or nothing. Like you can't bang your hat nowhere but to the right. So it's like that's how like at 10, you know, I'm over here kicking everybody. Like I said, I'm 10 kicking the niggas like 30 plus. Oh, them, you know, they out here, you know, they gangsters, you know what I'm saying? So next day, you know, they get to teach me, you know, this, and that. And 10 years old, like 10 to 13, I got the clamming folks, you know, and then, you know, the rest. I ain't gonna say too much on here, but 14 is really when I really embraced it because my foster mom died.
Oh, the pastor?
Yeah, she died. My foster mom, yeah, the pastor.
So you were dealing with trauma at that time and looking for another family,
Yeah,
so to speak.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
And you embraced the streets.
Yeah.
Okay, so the hustling days started from that point on. You kind of made a commitment to the street.
So I'm not gonna say like, cause like 14, I jumped off the porch at 14. When I say off the porch, like I ran away and I was trying to figure myself out at 14. But 17 is like when I really got like, I'm gonna go hoop, but I still sold drugs at 17.
So you were a real talent on the ball court. So
Mhm.
you had an opportunity to really get out.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you choose to stay in?
Man, it's like, that's a good question because it's like, and I feel like that's another thing that so many kids here have issues with, like trying to get away from what I've been knowing. And it was like, I didn't want to leave, or I don't know why I didn't want to leave here, but I feel like it was so much here and it really wasn't. Not saying like, and then I feel like a lot of it too, like it was a mental thing, like foster family, you know, growing up with childhood traumas and like words they spoke of you, like you're not gonna never be nothing, or you're not gonna do this and that. So you know, when you get to speaking those words over people, you eventually start believing, okay, like dang, am I really gonna be a street nigga? Am I really gonna be dead by the age of 16, 17? So it was like I was scared to go on my own because I was sheltered so much. If that makes sense what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you chose to stay in the hood. You said, forget basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You want to run the streets. You start dibbling and dabbling in the drugs and the gangs. Had a successful career in that. Eventually, you moved on from street gangs to bike life. Let's talk about that.
So, like, even just to piggyback off what you said about the basketball, like, I really didn't give up on basketball because, like, I still had, like, when I was 18, the Memphis Grizzlies wanted me, but they told me if I didn't make it, I wouldn't be able to play college. Then I went to college at MATC, and then a year after that, I ended up doing and one. So it was like I really was trying to figure myself out, so to speak. So I ended up having kids too. So that was like another big factor. Like they was trying to get me to go overseas. I didn't want to leave them. So I ended up staying here, playing in all of these big leagues, like pro leagues, college league, NBA leagues here, killed pro am, like not pro am, I said pro am, but in the paint, stuff like that. But then next thing you know, I meet some guys that's bikers. So I'm like, dang, okay. I'm like, okay, this is different. You know, my uncle ride bikes. You already knew my uncle named Dirty Red. He was off the East. He got killed. Rest in peace to my uncle. So that kind of like brought a weirdness to bikes. Me wanting to bike, me being in the club, I never thought I'd be in the outlaw biker club.
So let me ask you this. do you felt by your upbringing that you were easily influenced and enticed to do certain things? I mean, because we often look at these things as being like, man, this shit look fun, or this shit, man, I always want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But are we easily influenced by how we are brought up?
I'm not gonna say I was easily influenced, but like I said, once again, I always was a curious person. Like even as a kid, I always wanted to be like, well, let this like tell me, don't touch this hot stove. I'm gonna touch it anyway. I want to see why you say don't touch it. But the majority of the niggas that was around me, they were out here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I couldn't help but being around that. The biggest thing I feel like kids have is you can have them type of friends, but you got to know when to separate. If and you got to be able to pick what you want to do. So I don't feel like I was easily influenced because like I always went off this. Can't nobody make you do nothing you don't want to do.
I beg to differ.
Yeah.
I think that the power of influence
Mm-hmm.
can greatly weigh a young mind
Yeah.
decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree with you also.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about bike life.
Mm-hmm.
You said you was a part of an outlaw bike club.
Yeah,
Is
man.
it safe to talk about that?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So I end up 2012, 13, my cousin he knew some dudes that, rode bikes. I ended up meeting them because they had a car lot or whatever. So, we ended up rapping like I knew him, the guy that was in the club, like before the biker club, but like I ended up finding out when we went to his auto mechanic shop that they was in a biker club. Now me, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, man, I was always a nigga. Like I did my own thing. I didn't really want to be under nothing. Like if like you gotta, it's like about manipulation, or I feel like it was about control. So I go to a meeting one day. They told me what they offered and put it on the table. I'm like, all right, well I ain't never did no biker life, but I mean, it can't be that bad. It can't be no more different than the streets. Man, sure enough, almost something similar. Like so, like a biker. So you got outlaws. That's like the highest up, and I always compare it to like elementary, middle school, high school, and college. Elementary is like motorsports. I could say riding clubs like elementary. Motorsports is like middle school. Men's club is like high school, and in college I compare it to like outlaw, like it's serious. So like I end up, taking the more hard body club. You know what I'm saying? Like our talk so like ran like the streets, but it was like they was the superiors. Like it's in ranks. They top and everybody else underneath them.
So in this club, predominantly white, how did they accept you?
Hey, believe it or not, like people do say like so the people that blessed us in was the outlaws, the white ones. But the one like we was under them, so we had like a diverse club. But like going to like to answer your question, going to them, of course everybody know outlaw, like the white outlaws, they racist. You know what I'm saying? But when you like certain people like of color, they embrace. And I was one of the ones they embraced.
So is it anything like the Son of Anarchy?
Definitely like that. Definitely.
That's real?
That's real. That's real. Like for real, real.
So for anybody who's not a part of the bike life can watch the Son of Anarchy and really get a glimpse of what real outlaw bike life is.
Definitely. But me personally, I really feel like Sons of Anarchy is like it is like that, but I feel like it's this other biker club called the Mayans. They all Mexican. They more like real outlaw. So I was in 3 outlaw clubs. The first club I was in was the Icons. I ain't gonna really say like they was outlaw, but they what like to me like going to when I went to this outlaw club called the Hell Lovers. They outlaw for real, like they like known all over the country, the world. I was with them like those are my brothers. Hell Lovers, and then I end up branching off. The white outlaws blessed me in to start my own outlaw club. So a lot of niggas in the city was mad about that because it's like they like, oh, like you could go to the white outlaws, you could have came to us to get blessed, but yeah, they didn't like that. But yeah, I got plugged in. So letting you know when you saying like how they racist, I was one of the ones they rock with.
And they gave you some real dirty work, I should say.
Like opposed to what? Like what you mean dirty work?
I mean, the muscle.
Pretty much. And that's what I'm saying. But you know, a lot of people probably argue what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love my Northside Outlaw club. I'm always do. But at the end of the day, you really know them outlaws run the whole state. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they looking at it like it was a slap in the face to them for me to go to them, but it wasn't. The North Side just did stuff different. You know what I'm saying? So like I respect Outkast, I respect Sin City, and I respect Hell Lovers, but at that point in time, because like you gotta understand, it's deep. Like this biker stuff deep. Like it's like a what you would call a coalition. Like they control who come in, who can come out.
So did you get along with the other outlaw clubs? Was you able to go to the functions and
So
represent?
so I got along with the outlaw clubs real well, but like I said, they felt like we was with them. You know, Hell's Lovers was a North Side club. It's not, you know, it's not about white outlaws. So it's like they looking at like, okay, we left from them and then we went to them. You know, it was like a nigga, you black type thing. Like nigga, you should, you know what I'm saying, you should be rocking with us, not them. So it's like I got along with them still, but I just feel like RP to one of my biker brothers, the way he did it, because we was both the CEO of the club, but the way he did it put a sour taste in the Northside Outlaw bikers mouth, and I didn't know he did it like that. So that's how it kind of got out of hand. Like, no nigga, so put it like this: the Northside say this is what you got to do if you want to bring a club in over here. The South Side Outlaws like, no, it's what we say. Whatever we say go. So they looking at it like you just said, forget us. Y'all know, in order to keep these clubs like from being OC, we got a way we run things over here. They got a side how they run things over there. So my guy did something, made them mad. So yeah, kind of got out of hand.
But the level of respect was always there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The North
for
and
sure.
the South.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So during all that time, you dealing with personal trauma, just trying to find yourself, trying to find your place in the world, and trying to fit in. So now we eject Juan and we move on to Prophet Juan. Now you're trying to find yourself. You find you're becoming somebody that you've never been before, right? Which leads you to opening up your closets and confronting the skeletons and everything that the trauma that forced you or brought you to that point. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the mental health, the reason we're really here. The past traumas. When did you finally understand that you were dealing with mental health, that your mental health has been altered?
Let me see. So, my mental health, I knew it was really altered like at the age of 8 or 9. Because like I just always felt different, but I knew I felt different because of what was being done to me. Like, so prime example, 9 years old, I was in 3rd or 4th grade maybe, and I used to always have to get picked up once a week and go to like these therapy sessions. You know what I'm saying? They, like in the therapy sessions entitled stuff like obstacle courses. First, they always want to check not like your smarts, really your IQ, and then they want to go like tap into the mental health or whatever you want to call it. But my thing is they never tapped into it because I always was smart, so they feel like, okay, he could do this, this, and that. He could problem solve. He could do that. He problematic. Maybe he just got issues because he came from a foster home system. But my biggest thing is like when I really started understanding, I had like mental health issues was when I had kids. Like I started emulating or saying a lot of this stuff to my kids, and they made me mad that they should say to me. And you know, that's kind of like when I really knew I had like some mental health stuff. Even kind of I still like was in denial because like at the end of the day, I got abused and yelled at and all of this stuff because they just had a harsh way of punishing us for things they feel should have been punished with abuse. Me personally, like, right, like I said, growing up in the church, we couldn't get away with nothing. So it's like Bible, 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 Bible. Well, my kids just like, y'all really was doing stuff though. But then when I started seeing like a lot of the stuff I was saying, what they not gonna be and what they go be if they keep doing this, because I spoke it, it came to pass. So then I started to see how it started to affect my wife and my kids, and I'm like, oh no, I gotta change. So that kind of like was like maybe 3 years ago, 3 years ago, and I really started seeing how I was impacting my kids.
Okay. So let's talk about what led to you being in a foster home, and does the system really work?
Um, Now what I'm finna tell you is actually gonna be in my book. Like it probably sound unbelievable, but it's believable. So basically, my mom went into the mental health facility out there by Freighter. I forgot what it was called. It's called mental something though. So the agreement was my mom going there to get help. My mom was bipolar, schizophrenic, all the type of stuff you could think of mentally. She dealt with it. So they told my mom, my grandpa, like he a known apostle, like he in the church like I am now too, and he was friends with my foster mom. So basically, they told my to get to this, make a short, long story short, they told my foster mom my biological mom she go to the mental health place for 2 weeks. When she get out, they was go give us back to her. All along, my grandpa went behind my mom back, went to court with my foster mom. That's my foster mom. When I ended up going to foster care, and basically took us from my mom. That makes sense what I'm saying. So, from my understanding, it was just my mom just wasn't able to take care of us. That's why we went. Like I never was given like in a therapy session. Oh, she did this because that. I didn't really start finding out why we was giving up until I got grown. Like the real truth, not no, say fictional stories. You know what I mean?
On that journey to find out the truth, you had to deal with some things, uncomfortable things in your past.
Mm-hmm.
Is that really necessary to face those things in order to move forward?
Definitely necessary. Definitely, because I feel like a lot of the stuff you want to address because you get older and then you go to having your own family and you got to know what's in the bloodline, like generational curses, all that stuff really exists. So as my kids got to getting older, I started to see a lot of stuff that my foster family was trying to keep me from that she knew about my real family. Like even like mental health stuff they try to creep up on my daughters, even though she wasn't even around that, but it still is generational. That makes sense what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very touchy and uncomfortable question for me to ask you because
Mm-hmm.
I know you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it deals with the after effect of mental health, like child molestation
Mm-hmm.
and growing up being a victim.
Mm-hmm.
How does that really affect a child?
Man, let me see. And I'm glad you asked me that because believe it or not, a lot of males have went through molestation, whether it was from another woman or another man doing it to them. And I feel like so many people don't speak out about it, and it becomes like it's like it'll overtake you. So with me, I don't know, like that's kind of like God had built me for this already. So like I said, I ain't, I always talk about it. I ain't scared to talk about it. So at the age of 4, um, a 16-year-old molested me. He was a male, but like I said, he didn't penetrate me or nothing like that. Like he humped me and stuff like that. But this is where the traumas come in because when this occurred, I went and told them what he did. They didn't believe me, and so now turning around from that, and like I said, after that, his 16-year-old cousin, which was a girl, was having full blood sex with me, like oral sex getting did to me at 4, like they ain't there penetration with her at 4, and it's like then going from that to like so now it becomes an issue because now you start to think this stuff normal. So then after that, my real sister that went to foster care with me, she molested me. You know what I mean? So it's like all of these things it build up, but it build up to a bigger issue because now me, of course, nigga, you either go one or two ways. You get molested, you either go, if you get molested by a male, you either gonna be like, I'm gonna be gay, or you get molested by it's one or the other. Me, I took the woman route, but I ended up being whorish, a lust for women, because I'm like, I feel like I had to get that molestation stuff on my head that happened to me from a dude so now I'm looking for all these women to make me feel good, to be like, and then it's crazy because every woman I encountered with, I told them my story, like I got molested. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like a lot of them like fed off that too, if that makes sense what I'm saying, like took advantage, if that makes sense.
So does that play tricks on your mind as far as with your sexuality? Did you have to confront that, like, am I or aren't I?
No, never. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. That's because I know that's a spirit. I ain't never thought nothing about no nigga, nothing. It was always women, women, women. Like even before that happened, I had been getting molested when I was 1 or 2, because at 2 or 3 years old, I was having wet dreams. Now, I remind you, when I went to foster care, I used to look at my foster mom. I know it sounds crazy, but I used to be looking at her like on some sexual stuff. So like, yeah, never, no, never been like never. It's always been women, women, women. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, nigga, like, me personally, if a nigga end up being like that, that's because that's what the nigga want to be. Same scenario when a nigga go to jail. Nigga, you go to jail, you be like, oh, you end up being gay or whatever nigga, that was already in you.
So the bike life was like a dream come true for
Man,
you.
what dream come true? I'm talking about we going to parties, 8, 10 to 12 women try to pull me in the room with them. I'm talking about bad chicks. Like that life, like just the feel of women wanting me that bad. It was like man, I can't explain it, man. It made me feel like something different.
So now you discover yourself, your true calling.
Yeah.
Prophet Juan enters the building.
Yes, sir.
Knowing that you went through all this trauma, how do you feel now? And what does inner peace look like to Prophet Juan? What does it look like?
So and it's the crazy part, bro. Like, no lie, I can't make none of this stuff up. I'm telling you, I always knew I was a prophet since I was a kid, because I had my first prophetic dream at 1. I remember like yesterday. It's when God took me into this volcano and I was swinging over the lava. A year or 2 later, I ended up going to foster care. So God was letting me know then I was gonna be in the fire, but I was gonna make it. I never fell in the lava. So like going on down the line, how like the prophet part is, like I said, I always had prophetic dreams. God will always show me stuff and then to come to pass. But how I really got, see, when you understand God, when you understand the mind of God, you understand that nothing you went through was for you. It was to help others. See, a lot of people in ministry, they don't understand that. We get so caught up in, oh, I went through this, I went through that. It never was about you. It was about who you God is setting up for you to set free. So how I really got peace in mind is when God really delivered me from everything. Like I just really got freed of everything last year. Like the end of last year, maybe coming into January, like not the lust of women, like the drinking, all that type of stuff. Like I really got free mentally. And it feel good.
You're really open and honest about your past and what you endured. But my question to you, are you really being, I mean, you honest with everybody else, but are you really honest with yourself? You know, how do you feel emotionally and or are you just surviving?
So, like when I say, see, people got to understand my freedom and God's freedom is 2 different type of freedoms. So like I said, we make our own. This is like right now, if you know, say this person smoke weed, right? And they smoke weed all the time and they stop. To them, they get delivered from weed, they gonna be like, I did that myself. I'm free from it, but that still don't take away, oh, I'm still might drink a lot. But they feel like they overcame that. See, when God free you from something, you free for real. So what I'm telling you is I'm free for real. Like at first, yeah, it was like borderline surface. I still had a lot of residue on me. But the more and more I got closer to God, that's when I got freed. So like I used to, your biggest critics is your family. So like of course they're like, oh no, that nigga ain't changed. He's still him. He ain't gonna never change. So like the biggest thing is like when you get free, you will play mind tricks on you, but you know you free when you get into them situations. Like prime example, I get into it, my kids do something wrong, and I don't do the things I used to do no more. That's how I know I'm free. Or like I get into it with a nigga, I'm gonna be like, you know what, boss, you got it. All right, it's cool. I walk away now. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I know how to identify the freedom places. Now my temper still, you know, he freed me from that, but then too, he'll still teach you. Like it might be some little pop up, somebody come up and get you really triggered. You might turn up, so that'll let you know like I still got a little residue right there. That's how you identify that type of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say this, man, to you. I'm really proud of you and your growth because I know you when you can go from 0 to 100 in like 2.2 seconds. I mean, without a thought. So yeah. Mental health is a lifetime journey. You're always under construction. Um, who in your life supports your mental health and who drains it? Like, how do you weigh that out?
So by me being a man of God, it's like I'm constantly helping people. Like I'm talking about that to be young, old, older. So it's like God has built me up to give me a supernatural strength that come from Him. Because me just being in my house alone, my family drained me on this by itself. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying like I got teenagers, I got daughters, I got kids that's grown that's trying to figure it out just like I had to figure out. And they getting attacked by the same things that I got attacked with at that age. So I feel like the biggest thing that drained me more so is my family, because you know that's my family. But everybody else, I'm really good. Like I can handle that really with them. So
But do they know they under attack? And
who?
the people that you speak about, I mean, because you speak about knowing that you're going through and your past traumas. So when you bring people into your world, they may not know that they under attack. They may not know what's going on because you appear to be so normal. So how do you help people understand Prophet Juan?
So how I help them understand me is because majority, I'm gonna say like 95% of the people that I work with encounter the same things I encountered. So it's easy, like I said, it's easy to identify. So that's what God give you something called the gift of discernment. Like I'm able to feel when somebody heavy. I'm able to feel when somebody going through something, they don't want to talk about it. So that's kind of like how like me having the gift of discernment. Like prime example, a lady called me on Facebook today. And like I don't know what her interpretation or her understanding of what a prophet is. She was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of people on your Facebook. My friends, they saying you a prophet, this and that." So a lot of people don't know the difference between a prophet and a psychic. I'm not a psychic. The psychic you pay them to get stuff, but you tap into the demonic realm, not a spiritual. So I had to kind of correct her, like, no, I don't do that, but I could sit down with you and God could give me what to give you to help you out. So pretty much how I go with me is like, so when I was minister to her on the phone today, I'm like, I could tell God told me your heart heavy right now. You going through a lot right now. She was like, yeah, you right. So it's like that. So I kind of got like a anointing to like help people go off what they feel. And then once I talk to them and we get the going back and forth, God to give me he had downloaded me like strategies or things that they went through to help them. And like I said, majority everybody that I encountered went through. I could talk about only thing I could talk about I ain't never did in this life is homosexuality and smoke crack. Anything else I could relate to it. You know what I'm saying?
So just like anything else, from clothing to DVDs to jewelry, there's fake and there's real. How do you address the fake prophets? Or do you concern yourself with what they do?
Hey, believe it or not, like when God was teaching about ministry, I done seen fake church people so much. Like that ain't nothing new. I got, like I said, my mom was a pastor, so I saw the fake and I saw the real. But my biggest thing was when I first came into ministry, the apostolic fivefold ministry, which was apostle, prophet, pastor, teachers, and evangelists. I was real critique or a critic to people, like, because me as a person, if you say you this and you a leader, I hold you as a high standard. You know, niggas coming from the street. Like, this is like me saying, I'm a GD, then I get around this way, nigga, I'm a vice lord. So it's like, I feel like if you go say this what you is, you got to stand on it with me. So that was kind of like a year and a half. I went through that, like calling people out on stuff like, man, you doing this and this opposite of God. But then God was he was teaching me. And then pretty much when you out here being a false prophet, the people go talk about it. That's why God said, let the people call you pastor, prophet. You don't never look for, like, you don't never shoot that title and swing it around. Let the people call you that. So you got people that know, people that say they prophets or apostles or whatever they are, they know the ones that's wrong and they know the ones who's good. So my biggest thing is, let me be the one that's real. Let me be one of the good ones.
You have such a street appeal to you, not like the normal prophet.
Mm-hmm.
So when you approach people, some may have their guards up,
Mm-hmm.
some may have their guards down,
Mm-hmm.
and some may say, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with being judged out the gate?
Hey, that's crazy you say that though, because believe it or not, this gonna blow your mind. I get the most judgment for church people, traditional church people. Now, prime example, what you just said, this just happened last week. Thursday, I'm at the gas station on 76 in Good Hope with some young niggas. They like from the hood, from Southside Chicago. So, I come in there, I always rap with the young niggas, and that's what I do. I work with the youth. I work with trouble youth at risk. So I see them up in there, I come in there, they got their skis on, they got their switches on them. I'm there, I'm looking, they say, what's happening? I said, what's good with it? They like, what's good? They like, what is you? I like, what you mean, what am I? I'm a man of God. They were like, nigga, you ain't no man of God. Like you said, nigga, you got gold, you got nigga tats. I'm like, nigga, okay. I said, I used to be just like y'all. They were like, what you judge me for? I said, didn't you just judge me? What you mean? I'm like, y'all, you like us. I said, but didn't you just judge me and say I'm not a man of God because how I look? So I'm saying I was just like y'all. I said, nigga, you got dread. So what that make you? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just know how, to believe it or not, I really don't care, if so to speak. Like, if you ask me, like, if how I look, because I get that all the time. Like, but like, this I tell people, real recognize real. You can't take real, especially niggas that coming from the street. Like, if some niggas come off the street right now, they gonna be able to tell, like, if you fake or you real. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even like, they can see if I come in with somebody come in with a clergy thing on in a gown, and I come in with some Cardis and some Timbs and a white tee, they gonna be able to tell what's real. So like, at first, like, I was kind of skeptical, like, man, I don't look like no regular prophet. But believe it or not, God changing the world to prophets that look like me is crazy. Like, everything about the transition, like, people traditional is you can't have earrings, you can't have tattoos, you can't have braids, you can't do this. Y'all got none of this. Y'all still sin. Y'all still not what God calls y'all to be. So it's like, the spirit by the spirit, the person by the fruit. You know what I'm saying? So people can't speak on me because I don't do nothing. And that people speaking on me is because they hating. But God said, ain't no prophet welcome in their own home. So everybody's saying, Juan this, Juan that. Something wrong. I get all the hate. But me growing up, I love it, bro. Like, it made me, like, even on the basketball court, I was the only Hispanic mixed nigga in the hood. Niggas used to hate, but that fueled me more to kill them niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Same thing.
Do you think they hating because you have the potential to reach the people that they can't?
Definitely. That's definitely it.
Because you can walk up in a crowd that they scared to approach.
Yeah, facts. And that's the biggest issue. Like, they feel like we stay in these four walls or here, you come in and preach to the same people all day. It's more souls in the world that gotta be saved than behind them four walls. And that's what I tell people. Like, I really be in the trenches. Like, I'm prime example. I was doing Lyft. You know what I mean? Niggas got in my cars with ARP rifles. Niggas getting there with pistols. They pulling them out in my car. I'm like, bro, I come from that. But at the end of the day, I'm ministered to them. A lot of people, you got to get out. You know what I'm saying? So I know I'm assigned to the outcast. I'm sorry. It's way more people. It's way more sinners in the streets that got to be saved than what you go see coming to the church every Sunday.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It appears that you have a lot on your plate, dealing with other people's problems, helping them find their way. How do you respond to life when it becomes overwhelming to you?
Bro, bro, I'm going through that actually right now, bro. And it's like, I always go out the scripture, like, God never put nothing more than you could bear. But it's like, boss, when you doing all the pouring and all the helping, you be wanting that back too. But it's like, so many people look at my outer exterior. Don't get me wrong, yeah, I am from the streets. Yeah, I grew up hardcore. But at the same time, I need to be nourished and have affection, you know what I'm saying, too. But it's like, you might come from a family that I might have caused harm to them. Like, I was so mean to them growing up and they made me mad. So they don't know how to be affectionate to me because they always seen daddy handle on his own. They always seen daddy might have back in the day go and drink it away, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever he did to cope to get it away, that's how he did. But it's different. I can't do that now. So how I get like poured back into when I'm going through, I've turned on prophetic worship music and it helped me a lot. And I talk to God just like I'm talking to you. And sometimes I cry, sometimes I weep, sometimes I make groaning noise, but it's all like intercession. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we taught coming up to show no weakness, no way,
Yeah.
at no time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for us to reach out to people who would really understand what we're going through. What would you give to the advice to somebody that's going through it like that? You're so used to being hard, and in that moment of weakness, you still can't show no weakness. So you isolate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give them? What should they do?
Well, my verse for everything, of course, is to pray to God. But if you're not a believer, I definitely feel like you should go see like a counselor or a therapist. You know what I mean? Because I feel like when people vent to the wrong people, like prime example, if I go vent to one of my niggas in the hood about my wife, say my wife, she tripping, like she giving me a hard time. A nigga from the streets gonna be like, nigga, F her, like nigga, go find another chick. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, or man, I'm tired of going with this nigga. Might be like, oh, come on, come and have a drink with me. You know, so now I'm drunk, now I'm thorough, and I came back home, and I turned up, I done made it to a worse situation. But I feel like dude go get professional help. But my biggest key is gonna always be go to God. Because that's like, people don't understand. You try to go to therapists to get diagnosis for a spiritual affliction when it's not even a physical affliction, it's a spiritual. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of time, the therapist can't really help you like that because a lot of stuff you fighting is spirit. It's spiritual.
So are we all walking around being diagnosed?
For sure. Because think about it. How many people, because I'm in school for human service right now. I know about therapy and all of this. And they said, what's the number one rule in being human services is to do what? Don't harm the individual. So with that being said is how many people come to other people for advice and they giving them the wrong advice and they harming them more? How many people go to these therapists? Prime example, the white dude that killed the young girl. What's her name? Sade. That nigga had issues. What? That was a demon in that nigga. Like, you never got that demonic entity cast out by God. You was going to a regular therapist and look, it still never helped. Whatever it was, it just grew bigger. So that's a prime example. Look at the nigga Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer killed all the people, but what did he do at the end? He knew he was finna die. The nigga was like, God save me. A lot of niggas don't know that.
That's crazy. Man, this conversation has really been in depth and enlightening. I hope we ain't give too much away too soon because you have a big documentary coming out, man, from Big Mexico to the Prophet.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that, man.
Man, so basically, what I did was, you know what I'm saying, like, believe it or not, I'm the voice of the streets, but the godly version. You know what I'm saying? My platform was, my stage was the streets, but back then was in a devilish way, like it wasn't a healthy way. So it's like everything that I went and did out there, I want to recorrect it and help bring a change. So what I want to do was, I want to show everybody like all the hoods I used to be in, all the run-ins I had with the law or where I served a pack at to show them like, okay, I went through all of this, but look at me now. So that's really like the narrative I'm trying to push with that, like the show where I came from. Like I said, I go to Eagles, my childhood store, you know what I'm saying? Like just go all around, like my Waco niggas, you know what I'm saying, being with them, my hard head niggas, like all my niggas, I'm just showing them like you can rock with plenty niggas and still be 100. Like you ain't gotta, like we live in a world so messed up right now. Niggas just love backdooring. These little niggas, they shooting up everything and doing all this wrong stuff, but it all stimulate from home. And I was like, me personally, 2 or 3 years old, bro. Like I got diagnosed and I have a conscience. I could have been one of them niggas doing that. And that's like when I was in the streets and my temper was so like, bro, I used to get violent, bro. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like when I like from the ages of 14 through 16, like I ain't gonna say I was scary, but I was scared to do something because I'm like, oh yeah, foster mom's gonna make go play with me if I do something. But I got out here really seeing how the world was, bro. I was scared, like to do something to somebody. Cause I know once I did it, I wasn't gonna stop. So that's like getting all that's what I'm saying. Prime example, Jeffrey Dahmer, that nigga was smart. You could be so smart and have a mental block in your mind or something devious or wicked, and you could use that smartness to do the wrong thing. Now you got premeditation. So when I used to get, if I would ever got into a nigga, like I said, I never had no street beef. Probably one nigga, and it was just some hating because of girl. But other than that, if it ever had got to that point, it would have been crazy because now I'm plotting, now I'm meditating. That's what I'm telling you. People got to get that stuff taken care of because, like, I grew up with a mentality like, your moms gave me away. And I think that's another reason why I treated women the way I treated them because my mom's.
But she didn't actually give you away.
Right, but I didn't know that till I got older.
Right. And you grew up thinking that way.
Yep.
And they allowed you to think
Yep,
that way.
facts.
Well, one thing that we all can agree on is that change is good. That change can actually happen because we sitting in front of somebody we seen change. So Prophet Juan, man, it's been an honor and a privilege to have you on Code Red. Thanks for coming to the platform. I'm your host, the Playmaker. This is Prophet Juan, and we out.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. You already know.